Hey everyone, this guys, so welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at some really interesting redstone contraptions. These are redstone selection panels. So redstone selection panels are really cool. Basically, in case you've got a bunch of farms running at the same time, you want to decide which farm do you actually want running at once, in case you don't want all of them running at the same time. So we're going to be looking at a bunch of designs that are really cool. These aren't too functional. Obviously, you can manually do it, but these are really cool things to have in your base, and they look really cool. So yeah, let's get started. All right. So the first one we're going to be looking at is a really simple two mode switch. So assuming you've got a cactus farm and you want to toggle between actually storing the cactus and converting it to bone meal, all you've got to do is come to this button, flick it, and yeah, the lamp just gets swapped around. Alternatively, this can just be a lamp swapping video, but yeah, these can be used for farm toggling. So the way that this one works is really simple. Basically, we've got a D flip-flop in the background. So when you flick the button, this observer extends, parting this piston, the sticky piston, which alternates the redstone block between the two. So if I hit it again, you can just see it extend and pulls the redstone block back. So in all these circuits, the blue part is the actual circuitry, and the yellow portion is the circuit that actually controls the farms themselves. So here you can take the output from this yellow circuit and power the respective lines. Now next up, obviously over here we're using pistons in case you wanted a silent solution. This is the silent solution to this. As you can see, it's a tiny bit slower, and yeah, here's why. So once again, a redstone powering the copper block comes over here, and we've got two droppers. So this dropper runs into that one, and that dropper runs into the hopper, which cycles around like so. So basically, currently the item is in that block. When I flick the button, it powers this block, which also powers that dropper, powers the hopper, which runs it back into this and toggles the switch here. So now in case you wanted to take the output, you just have a couple of torches over here which power this, and then you can take the line out from there. That's the one problem with this is there's no really easy way to take the output of this. So yeah, once again, the reason it's so slow is because it has to go through a few hoppers, but while going from the cactus to the bone meal mode, it's really fast. Okay, now having just two of them cycling around is all fun and good, but real farms are a lot larger. Suppose you have a huge flower farm and you want to toggle which farm your bone meal is going to or which farm is running at the same time. So here we've got a simple solution. Every time you flick the button, it just swaps over to the next farm. So yeah, and this is basically that last one but magnified. But it does require a tiny bit of extra circuitry because, yeah, once again, it comes back. So the way that this one works is the same thing. We've got droppers running into each other. The final dropper runs into a hopper, which cycles back. We've got comparators out of each of them, which power the lamps on the front face, and then torches on top, which take the output out. Now, the issue is you can't really power these droppers sequentially because that will result in a chain. So the way that we do that is using a powered rail. So here, this is the output from the button. The button powers this redstone dust, which powers the piston, pushes the observer in front, and that powers the powered rail below. Now, the way that powered rails work is that they actually update last first. So this powered rail actually gets updated first, updates the observer, and updates the dropper. Then this one, and then so on and so forth. So right now the items in this, so it chains back, all of these fail, but when this one updates, this one pushes the item into this one. The next time that you press the button, it pass this fails, pass this fails, pass this fails, and then pass this, which pushes it in the next one. So that's how that one works. So yeah, this is really simple, and every time you flick it, it goes over to the next one. Now, one issue with this is once again the same thing. You do actually have to take the output out from above this. There's no easy way to take it out from this end, which is where the next design comes into play. Alright, so the next design is basically the same concept, but it makes it slightly easier to check the next one. So once again, you flick it. And one really cool advantage with this is that the swap over, the reset basically, is a lot faster. The way that we do this is, well, like this. We've got two lines of droppers here. So this one cycles around like this, and then back again, and back here. And we've got two items circling instead. Um, I think, okay, so this item's actually supposed to be in this dropper. I think there's some problem with the loading. But basically, we've got one item on either end. And the way this works is, once again, we've got the same thing. Observer powering a block, powering a redstone, not a redstone line, a powered rail. which basically triggers that line of droppers. But where it changes here is because you've got to also power this line of droppers, but you've got to power it the other way around. So you basically want to power it this way. So yeah, so for that we've got an observer, powers a block, plus another block here, powers this one, and powers this line of redstone here. So yeah, these are really, really cool systems. But obviously, in case I wanted to set up yellow, I've got to press this, wait for the piston to retract, press this again, wait for the piston to retract, and yeah, it takes some time. So that's where our next set of things come in. So these are all basically the same thing. You press one of these note blocks, and it automatically resets all the other ones and activates only the one that you pressed. So for the first one, in case I wanted to activate red, I can just come over here, press this. As you can see, all of them light up, and then just red turns off. Now, in case I wanted to power white, that's what this happens once again. So this is really, really simple. And yeah, obviously you can see what one of the biggest problems with this is the signal's inverted. But actually, when you're running the farm, it's not too much of an issue. But aesthetically, yes, it's a lot of it. So the way that this works is that we've got these observers which are looking into the node block in front. This powers a block here, which runs into a 4-tick repeater, powering a dropper which is pointing upwards, and this dropper is actually pointing downwards. Down over here, we've got a redstone line, observers looking into them, and powering a block here. So what happens is every time that we press a node block, this line down below gets powered, which means that all the droppers fire, pushing their items up. But we've also got this line, which powers these repeaters a second later. Now, one thing you've got to remember here is that it does not power all of them. It just powers the one that you actually click. So in case I was to do this, you can see that they all power up, but this is the only repeater that actually gets powered. So what happens here? It powers this dropper, which powers this dropper to push the item back into this, which is why the comparator is empty. So once again, if I did this, you can see that that comparator becomes empty once again, and the signal carries on like that. But now, obviously, in case you wanted to take some aesthetics into consideration, this is this design. So the obvious difference you can see over here is that the redstone lamp is a block above. But once again, this works the exact same way. Flick blue for that, white here, red here, and yeah, really, really simple. So the way that this works, once again, with an observer looking into the node block, and it's the same concept. We do have to trigger a certain number of droppers, all of them, but then only one dropper has to be activated once. So yeah, the observer runs into these blocks, which powers all of this redstone, powers this observer, which powers this block, which is actually powering this dropper right here. We've got a redstone line that comes through on 4 ticks, powers this. It's the exact same circuitry as the previous one. But over here, we are giving a block buffer for the comparator to power this. And instead of the comparator powering the redstone lamps directly, we've got some torches over here, which makes things a whole lot easier. So yeah, you can see the thing running in action. And at the back, we've got comparators just monitoring which farm is actually running. So yeah, this is really, really simple. You've got nice display over here, lamps on top, and node blocks here. But in case you wanted things a bit more compact, and the lamps and the node blocks right next to each other, in case you wanted to bring the item frames low, we've got this design, which is also really, really, really cool. Once again, same concept. But yeah, the way that this works is it's actually slightly bigger. Basically, I wanted to try and make this smaller. So the way that this works actually is that the comparator is powering the block on top of the redstone lamp. So you have to make sure that there's a solid block here. So yeah, once again, observer power is looking into the node block here. That powers this node block, which powers this 2-tick repeater, which powers this momentary pulse thingy. But yeah, so once again, trying to repeat this properly. Observer powers the node block. Node block's observed by this observer, which powers this redstone line on top. This redstone line powers this set of droppers. It pushes their items up, rendering all of these empty, so all the lamps turn off. But then after a 2-tick delay, this extends, powering this block, which pushes only the corresponding item back. So in case I was to click this, you can see it's just that piston that goes up, but the lamp has turned back. Yes, I was fast enough. Okay, I'm not, definitely not fast enough, but yeah, you can see that just this one is extending. So yeah, that's how this one works. So yeah, these are really really cool designs, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed them. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This means guys, and I'm out. So ciao for now. I'll see you in the next video.